kusukela emcimbini emnandi unentangalelo zemfana.
It's nice to be here.
It's always been kumnandi kuba lapha. Uyadzoba ushamari inkunzi ehlanganisa abangane.
Enjoy Real Value online with TM Pick and Pay Click and Collect. It's time for the news.
Well, thanks for joining us. This is the main news. My name is Patla Nipurem.
And I'm Tari Manamikir Global Mawungwa at the Sign Language Desk. We take a look at the leading headlines tonight.
Top stories tonight. President Emmerson Mnangagwa urges new officer cadets to safeguard national independence.
The Victoria Falls Stock Exchange continues to attract diverse range of listings from across the economy. That report and more coming up in business.
And it's Harare Derby weekend. Caps United and Dynamos locking horns on Sunday, and we'll also give you a preview of other matches to look forward to in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League this weekend. But we start, of course, with tonight's top story. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has challenged the newly graduated officer cadets from the Zimbabwe Military Academy to jealously guard the independence and solidarity that the country and the region enjoy. The president was speaking at the commissioning parade of 202 regular officer cadets at the Zimbabwe Military Academy in Gweru today. Olindori was there and she filed our first report.
Would you observe the laws of Zimbabwe?
I shall! I shall! I shall!
It was indeed a day of joy and celebration as Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, the President Emmerson Mnangagwa, presided over the commissioning parade of the regular officer cadet here at the Zimbabwe Military Academy in Gweru. As he addressed the graduates, President Emmerson Mnangagwa said the maintenance of peace and security within Zimbabwe and beyond is key.
This graduation ceremony is yet another demonstration by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces to continually inject new officer corps into our forces, well equipped to play their part in safeguarding our hard-won independence, our freedom, our sovereignty, and our territorial integrity. About 21 months ago, these young men and women before us commenced an extremely demanding journey to become well-trained, competent, and professional officers. Remain mindful that nyika inovakwa, igotongwa, igonamatirwa, igodzivirirwa nevene vayo, ende vene vayo ndimwe. Ilizwe lakiwa livuswe, likulekelwe, livikelwe ngabanikazi balo, yiti abanikazi balo. Always save with purpose and devotion to the enduring values that have made us a strong, united, and peaceful and indomitable nation, even against the onslaught of illegal sanctions imposed on our motherland, Zimbabwe.
The head of state applauded the increase of female cadets in the program, thereby including women in the development and peace efforts of the country.
It is praiseworthy that Zimbabwe Defense Forces has taken bold strides to raise the number of female officer cadets enrolled at our strategic military institutions. By so doing, you are tapping the inherent potential of women to also contribute to our national defense, our peace and security effort. Well done.
He further implored the Zimbabwe Military Academy to infuse the evolving technological space in the knowledge transfer to cadets of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces.
Given the emerging centrality of technology in modern warfare, I challenge the Academy to deliberately expose our officer cadets to new fields, including artificial intelligence, and how these impact the defense and security sector. The joint training of officer cadets by the Zimbabwe Military Academy of Officers from sister republics in the region is commendable. Such collaboration must be strengthened and scaled up as it aids in the interoperability among defense forces in our region, especially in the context of the SADC Mutual Defense Pact.
This Friday's graduation ceremony marks the 40th commissioning parade for cadets since 1980, and the call to remain united and pushing for Zimbabwe's sustainable economic development while maintaining peace is a key component. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Gweru.
The officer cadets who have been commissioned at the Zimbabwe Military Academy are looking forward to safeguarding the country's territorial integrity in line with the demands of their newly found profession.
Military training over the world is not a walk in the park, as the exercise is marred by grueling experiences meant to prepare the uniformed forces for real war situations. For 22 months, the officer cadets commissioned this Friday had to go through several drills and experiences, a journey that was not easy, judging by the statistics, which proved that of the 250 students who commenced the course, only 202 managed to finish the voyage.
The course before you, Excellence, commenced training with a total of 250 candidates, comprising 183 from the Zimbabwe National Army, 65 from the Air Force of Zimbabwe, and 2 officer cadets, 1 male and 1 female from Eswatini Defense Force. Overall, the total enrollment had 73 female and 177 male students. 46 officer cadets, comprising 27 male and 19 female students, could not cope with the rigors and the demands of cadet training and fell by the wayside.
The commissioned officer cadets concur their journey was grueling, pledging to defend their country at all costs.
I had the dreams to protect my own country, and that's why I didn't drop out. And also, I had the dream of taking care of my parents and my younger sisters. My sister suffered a lot, so I didn't want to go through what she went through.
As a uniformed force, like a soldier, you have to be mentally fit and physically strong. And this course that we have completed today is not easy, but it's challenging, but it is also rewarding in future.
Parents and guardians of the commissioned officer cadets say they feel relieved as their loved ones begin a new journey.
Kunzwa kufara nezvaitwa naMuhammad Komboni ndiye atanga kukwaziswa naPresident zvinova zvekutanga mudzinza redu dai agona kuteera zvose zvatsanangwa naPresident zvandifadza uye zvatipawo manyukunyuku.
Kufara nezvaitika izvi nagotwe wangu uyu ndanzwa kufara uyezve ndafara kuti akaratidza ushingi nekuti zvatanga tichiona pazvavaita it was not an easy journey. Ranga risina kureruka, saka ndiri kungoshuvira kuti zvaakunoshandira nyika yake aramba angori mwana acharatidza ushingi hwake.
Nekuti changa chiri chishuviro changu pachangu sabamba kuti dai ndakaenda kukaenda mwana asi ndakakundikana, but iye aita zvinhu zvinofadza ini, zvinofadza mhuri yese, zvinofadza nyika, kuratidza kuti tawanavo kurudzi kwedu munhu anomiririra nyika.
Officer Cadet Danmo Matsenuke was crowned the overall best student due to his outstanding performances throughout the training program. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Ogweru.
South Korea has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation with Zimbabwe, particularly in the agriculture sector. Abigail Tembo reports.
Speaking after paying a courtesy call on Vice President General Retired Dr. Konstantino Chiwenga, South Korean Ambassador Jae Ying Park said the discussions centered on expanding collaboration in the agricultural sector through the Korea Program on International Agriculture, COPIA.
The focus of today's discussion with the Vice President was on agriculture sector. I updated Vice President what the embassy and then our agriculture office, which is called COPIA, is planning and then is actually implementing, including the seed potato project and also the black soldier fly project and also small grain project. It started with Mashonaland East, Wecha district, and then is now being extended to other provinces and other villages, including Mashingo province and Midlands province and Manicaland province. And also we touched upon the economic issues, trade issues and investment issues, and I was happy to share with the Vice Presidents in growing interest from Korean companies, mining companies and pharmaceutical companies, having good business relations with their counterpart in Zimbabwe.
The COPIA-led programs aim to bolster food security and promote sustainable farming practices, particularly in rural communities. The Soldier Fly project focuses on sustainable organic waste management and protein production for animal feed, while the seed potato and small grain projects aim to improve crop yields and climate resilience. The meeting comes at a time when Zimbabwe is actively courting foreign investment and technical partnerships to revitalize its economy, with agriculture being a key pillar of its national development strategy. South Korea's expanding footprint in Zimbabwe's agricultural and industrial sectors signals growing confidence in the country's potential and stability. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has confirmed its commitment to supporting institutions of higher learning as they continue to spearhead innovation, research, as well as national development.
The Midlands State University Silver Jubilee dinner held in Harare this Thursday saw government reiterating its resolve to ensure tertiary institutions are capacitated to drive innovation and industrialization. Guest of honor and Minister of Defense Honorable Opam Chinguri Kashiri, who represented President Emmerson Mnangagwa, pledged government's continued support for the institution.
The Second Republic will continue to support the university in its research, innovation, and capacity development endeavors. The envisioned university hospital will be linked to the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences and the National Pathology Research and Diagnostic Center, which I officially opened in July 2022.
The university has been praised for its pivotal role in advancing rural industrialization through innovation and community engagement.
It is commendable that Midlands State University is now a prime example of an entrepreneurial university that is leading the way in stimulating rural industrialization, agro-innovations, and value addition. The university now operates a viable community engagement project at Holy Cross in Churumanzu. The land under irrigation produces wheat and horticultural products. The institution has also established state-of-the-art chalets, representing a huge boost to rural tourism. The Black Granite Beneficiation Project in the Mutoko district is a game changer.
MSU Vice-Chancellor Professor Victor Ngonidzache Muzhidziwa spoke on the mutual collaboration between the institution and the government.
We are gathered to partake in this festive occasion as we commemorate a significant 25 years of hard work and commitment to the cause of higher education. This momentous occasion testifies to the hard work and teamwork of Midlands State University, government and industry in a mutually beneficial tripartite relationship.
The event was attended by hundreds of MSU alumni, including the First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who graduated with a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Tourism and Hospitality Management in 2024.
I'm so happy that I've attended this. It's not easy from having the MBA, then you go to PhD. I didn't do it for myself, but for children to say, you can study until you die. So it's a homework to these children of Zimbabwe. What are you doing? Where are you? What do you think to do with your life? Most of our children now are parents, and some are parents to be. But without the background of going to school, it's a life that has not been protected. In terms of what I do, this has strengthened my work. Practically, I'm doing it there, but theory, I got it from the universities. And the same discipline, when I studied in 1997 with the University of Zimbabwe, I went to Switzerland, came back, studied with MSU, and where I am now, it's all the background of going to school. And the work that I do is somehow working together with the knowledge that I got from the school and also practically what I am doing.
Midlands State University shaped me profoundly, especially in the area of writing. Because before I went to the college, I had written 2 books already. And I read the first 2 books that I wrote before I went to the college.
Renowned poet and musician Albert Nyati, who is also an MSU alumnus, along with the MSU band, did not disappoint as they kept the guests entertained. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Now Zimbabwe is ready to welcome delegates for the first ever Southern African Development Committee SADC Transfrontier Conservation Areas International Conference, that's TFCA, and Summit in Harare. It will be running from the 19th to the 23rd of this month.
The summit will bring together over 500 delegates from across the region, including SADC heads of state and government. The first ever conference is expected to strengthen political commitment to the TFCA program and to promote investments in the TFCAs.
The TFCA is not only bearing fruits for the SADC region, but equally is bearing fruits for the entire world. That's why we will have participants from all the corners of the world.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Ambassador Thedius Chifamba, highlighted the significance of the summit for SADC countries.
The transfrontier corridors that are being created by these TFCAs facilitate what we may call the room to roam for wildlife. You are giving the animals space to exist away from human settlements. Otherwise, if you don't create these large spaces, the animals will come closer to human settlements.
Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Director General Professor Edson Gandiwa noted the pivotal role of TFCAs in advancing sustainable ecological and wildlife development.
Currently, the TFCAs has helped us to be able to collaborate across boundaries. So, for instance, if I give examples of Gonarezhou National Park, if we look in managing Gonarezhou National Park only as the one park, animals they go beyond Gonarezhou to Mozambique and also South Africa. So the TFCAs then helps us to have harmonization in terms of our management practices.
The summit themed Transfrontier Conservation Areas, 25 years of cooperation for regional integration and sustainable development, will focus on the political, economic and environmental significance of TFCAs. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
Masvingo Province says preparations for the National Culture Day launch, set for the 22nd of this month, are on course, with showcasing diverse cultural practices being high on the agenda. In a media briefing in Masvingo this Friday, Masvingo's Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, said the province is ready to host the event, which will be presided over by President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
This year's theme, celebrating indigenous voices, serves as a powerful reminder of the invaluable contribution of our indigenous communities to our nation's heritage, identity, and resilience. The event aims to celebrate Zimbabwe's rich cultural heritage, promote cultural diversity, and foster national unity. To achieve this, there will be a showcasing of diverse cultural practices through various forms that include dance, food, attire, poetry, music, among others. Over 20,000 people are expected to participate at the National Culture Month launch.
Minister Ezra Chadzamira there speaking on the National Culture Day launch that in fact has been set for the 22nd of this month. Elsewhere, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to uninterrupted HIV treatment and addressing corruption in the health sector.
In a media briefing in Harare this Friday in response to mounting public concern over the alleged shortage and black market sale of antiretroviral ARV drugs, the Minister of Health and Child Care, Dr. Douglas Mumbeshora, highlighted efforts by government to mobilize domestic resources to close funding gaps.
As previously communicated, ARV medicines are well stocked and there is no risk of stockouts across all treatment regimens for this year 2025. On our current stock levels, adult first-line ARVs, we have 8 months of stock for those drugs. And for pediatric first-line ARVs, the ministry is phasing out older formulations while introducing a new fixed-dose combination. The outgoing formulations are currently at 4 months stock, with shipments of the improved triple fixed dose combination expected in July, and that will provide 5 months stock from July. And on sustainability of these supplies, our antiretroviral therapy medicine requirements for 2025 are fully funded.
Equally prominent on the agenda were disturbing reports of extortion by healthcare workers, where patients are allegedly being forced to pay for HIV services that are supposed to be free.
This conduct represents a gross abuse of authority, a violation of ethical standards, and a betrayal of public trust. We unequivocally condemn such reprehensible and corrupt behavior. Investigations are underway, and any healthcare worker found guilty will face swift disciplinary action. No one entrusted with the duty of care should ever exploit the vulnerable. As a reminder for the public, ARVs are available and provided free of charge. If any patient is asked to pay for HIV services, they should immediately report the incident to the provincial medical director, the district medical officer, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and they should also report to the minister's office.
Dr. Mumbeshora also gave an update on the Zimbabwe COVID-19 response and essential health service project, a $3.7 million United States initiative funded by the World Bank's Global Financing Facility and implemented by Code Aid. The project has delivered critical medical equipment, including anesthetic machines, infant incubators, and ultrasound scan machines to 25 healthcare facilities nationwide. Over 90% of the equipment has arrived at NatFarm, with deliveries underway until the 31st of this month, while installation and staff training are set to be completed by the 30th of June. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, various exchanges between Zimbabwe and Belarus were held during President Emmerson Mnangagwa's recent 4-day official visit to Minsk, riding on the already existing excellent political relations between the two countries. Part of the high-level engagements saw Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister Dr. Jenfan Muswere touring the Belarus Belta News Agency, where he appreciated the importance of sharing notes on how to improve and enhance the local media landscape.
The primary spheres is human capital development, which is the exchange of media and communication knowledge and experience within our respective countries. Technological sovereignty, which includes the transition from analog to digital. Media sovereignty to protect, advance and defend the information flow within our respective countries.
Right, Dr. Jenfan Muswere there speaking. Now, Masvingo Polytechnic College's registered construction company is making waves with innovation projects such as water processing plant that is making an impact in the country.
Masvingo Polytechnic's registered construction company has completed numerous projects nationwide. The Polytechnic's water plant provides purified water for the community as well as selling purified water. The college's other projects include the Mwenezi Mapfura Processing Plant, Mutare Teachers College Baobab Processing Plant, Masao Processing Plant, and Great Zimbabwe Traditional Grain Processing Plant. Speaking to ZBC News, Masvingo Polytechnic BTech Coordinator, Mr. Chirikure Chinofire said their company is driven by students and lecturers, adding communities have also started benefiting through employment opportunities.
The companies that we are forming are formed by lecturers and students who are studying. So we are giving skills to the students as they are learning. Those students who are involved in those projects, their fees are paid through that program. And when we are constructing, we take some people from the community. They also help in the construction process.
The Polytechnic has also designed and produced a Mapfura nut cracker, easing the processing of nuts for local communities.
We have just come up with a design for a nut cracker, because after extracting the juice from the marula, from the mapfura, we actually get the kernels. So the kernels also have got a nut in them. So in a bid to try and get more easily the nut from the kernel, we have designed this machine that is here, the nut cracker, so that we can extract the kernel. This will also add value even to the communities. Traditionally, our mothers and grandmothers would use stones to crack the nuts, and that's quite laborious.
Masvingo Polytechnic's products are a testimony that the country is rich in terms of young brains who can design and manufacture products that can transform the national trajectory. Jackie Gwemende, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, for these and more stories, you can visit our website. That's www.zbc.co.zw. Alternatively, you can also find us on our social media pages. That's on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as on X with our handle. That's at ZBC News Online.
Right, and there are more stories to come on this bulletin. This is what you can look forward to. When we look at business news, the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange continuing to attract diverse range of listings from across the economy. We'll find out who else has been listed. And of course, Harare Derby weekend. This weekend, Caps United and Dynamos locking horns in one of the top fixtures in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League. We'll be bringing you a report on that and a whole lot more. Join us then.
Atlas Convention 2025 Global Edition, themed Investing in Africa's Prosperity, will be held in Victoria Falls. Experts from plus 133 countries will gather at this landmark event to explore transnational trade, investment opportunities, academic research insights, and bankable high-impact innovations for Africa. From the business of our bustling cities to to the melting pot of African Adventure Safari.
Bungee jump Victoria Falls.
Take a deep dive into a unique blend of adventure experience, diverse cultures, untouched wildlife, and spectacular nature across Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Botswana. Heads of state and government, private and public sector executives, R&D experts, thought leaders, the academia, transformation strategists, and investors will converge to explore unique opportunities and forge partnerships for path-breaking sustainable initiatives that will drive a competitive, modernized, and industrialized Africa. Register today on www.atlasconvention.com. Atlas Convention, bringing African opportunities to the global stage.
Zimbabwe, through the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, is excited to host the 10th International Civil Aviation Organization Africa Indian Ocean Aviation Week, taking place from the 26th to the 30th of May 2025 at the Elephant Hills Resort in the majestic city of Victoria Falls. This event is set to be officiated by the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. The Africa Indian Ocean Aviation Week is dedicated to advancing safety, security, and development of the aviation industry. Among the distinguished delegates will be the International Civil Aviation Organization President, Secretary General, Director Generals of Civil Aviation Authorities, among others. Africa Indian Ocean Aviation Week, advancing global aviation standards.
Welcome back. You are still watching the main news, and just as well to acknowledge those of us who are joining us live on our Facebook live page. Thank you very much for being part of our broadcast today. Let's cross over to our Montrose studios now for more news, and Swukele is on standby. Swu, great to see you.
Well, thank you very much, Butler and Tari, for taking us through the first part of the bulletin. We carry on from this end. The agro-industrial hub established by Lupane State University is empowering learners with skills to sustain themselves post the learning period, as well as to contribute to the national development agenda. Let's hear more.
The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, which is on a countrywide fact-finding visit, was in Lupane, where it witnessed strides created by the Innovation Hub at Lupane State University. Innovation Hubs are the new game changer, translating theoretical learning into practical goods and services, with the LSU Agro Processing Plant playing a key empowerment role among students. The students' Concare Innovation Hubs have empowered them with the required survival skills in line with Vision 2030.
Ma benefits ngithi ungathwajana wamingi loko like mbuli kunku oya mbuli ndiskwetho ma students mpombuli kuma broilers aliyampuba jaya avenga twagena mali cause ngakwazi abantu basiyene.
For people come here ukuthi bazothola knowledge lingasincedisa ngani futhi any information ukuthi lathi sikwanisa ukusurvive ezindaweni zethu.
Lupane State University Vice Chancellor Dr. Pardon Kuipa commended government for availing funding for the Innovation Hub.
There is opportunities for our students to learn by doing, and when they graduate from the institution, they are already practitioners. But of course, that is limited by the amount of resources that we have.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Dr. Thokozani Kupe, emphasized that agro-industrial innovation and heritage-based learning can see the country realize more exports and generate income for economic growth, aligning with Vision 2030.
We have seen that the Lupane University is indeed producing job creators and not job seekers. And we have also realized that they have implemented Heritage Education 5.0 to the fullest. We've seen the goats that they're rearing, we've seen the pigs that they're rearing, we've seen the chickens, we've seen the fish, we've seen the horticulture, So we've seen so much. And what is remaining right now is for us as the parliamentary committee to go and lobby the Minister of Finance so that this university is adequately funded.
Lupane State University mandated to focus on agriculture to improve both crop quality and animal breeds.
The Professor Phineas Makurane Technovation Center at the National University of Science and Technology is home to several prototypes introduced by students as part of government's Innovation Hub strategy introduced across tertiary institutions.
The prototypes, which range from mining sector and agro-food processing, are expected to bring a lasting solution to some of the problems facing the country. NUST Pro Vice Chancellor Innovation and Business Development Professor William Goriwondo commended the Education 5.0 model for empowering learners with practical problem-solving skills.
The exhibitions that we are seeing here are innovations that have come from our research laboratories, and they are now housed at the Innovation Hub, which is at the Professor Phineas Makurane Technovation Center. And the categories of these innovations, we have one that are of a software nature, which are in our software development center, where the students are using Internet of Things, using information technologies to solve the problems that we face. And the physical prototypes that we have seen here, we do have one which has to do with aquaponics, which is contributing to agriculture, where you are limiting the land that you are farming and going vertical farming, and it is using fish farming to provide some nutrients that are required by the crops.
The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, which was on a fact-finding visit checking on Innovation Hub's progress at universities, is pleased with what they saw at NUST.
We have seen wonders. We continue to see wonders. We have seen projects where they are developing machines that can be used in our mining sector, where they have to do ground surveillance, underground surveillance before they go in to dig unnecessarily. So we have seen that and we are happy with that. These are still prototypes, but we are hoping that in the very nearest future they will be brought to use.
The Heritage-Based Education 5.0 model is empowering students with practical problem-solving skills, which are key in propelling industrialization.
Women from Matabeleland North have benefited from a solar-powered incubator project, which is part of the ruling ZANU-PF Party's empowerment programs.
The incubator, with the capacity to hatch 3,600 chicks at a time, will benefit women in the 7 districts of the province. The beneficiaries expressed joy at the project's unveiling in Lupane this Thursday.
NjegeMatabeleland North Province, siyabonga kunyomanisa, siyamukela isipho esibuyelo mama uthi nomona angani kuthiwa kungaqhubekela phambili njalo lathi sisiphathe kuhle. Siyambonga umongameli welizwe leZimbabwe Second Republic.
Isipho lesi sisithole njengabomama njengathi abafelwakazi kuyasijabulisa kakhulu ngoba kuyasithuthukisa lezimuli zethu.
ZANU-PF's drive is anchored on ensuring women play a critical role in the attainment of Vision 2030.
Mhuri dzichingoramba dzichitambudzika. Kuna nzvimbo kana ndawo wanofana kusara mumashure asina kunge wakasimudzirwa. Inyaya yekuti Vision 2030 wari kureva kuti tinofanira kurarama upenyu unenge hwakasimukira. Proverbs 25 verse 17 to 18 uthi katwinya lakho ludinga ngomakhelwa nensuku zonke. Inkukula imzwazi yasanithatha amaqanda ngokutshona komakhelwane, but just add value. Asesa value.
Mama since second republic ibuyile sibona ama developmental projects ebuye emathebeni nokubo mama. Kobo mama sibone kufundiswa mama ukupheka ama vaseline, ukupheka ama cobra, ukupheka ama sunlight. Sabona izinto ezinengisenzakala omama basathenge sebeziphekele. Othiya lethu wagijima labantu members akhe national ama polity bureau kunikwa omama inkukhu kuma districts.
Across the country, similar initiatives have been unveiled by the ruling ZANU-PF party to uplift women. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Lupane.
Well, that'll be all from the Montrose News Desk. I am Sibigele Maposa, now handing over the baton to Tari and Butler in Harare for the rest of the bulletin from this end. Good night.
Right, fantastic stuff. Thanks a lot, Sue, and the entire Montrose crew. Now, the country has come up with more than 80 abstracts in various subsectors of the agricultural industry that will be presented at the upcoming Agricultural Research Symposium to be held later this month.
Several research institutes operating under the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Specialist Services, Department of Veterinary Services, and the Agricultural Engineering, Mechanization and Soil Conservation Department are set to present their latest research findings at the second Research and Extension Symposium to be held later this month. This symposium aims to foster collaboration and knowledge sharing among researchers, extension specialists, and other stakeholders towards transformation of the agricultural sector.
So we invited communities in the agricultural fraternity who are carrying out research to submit some abstracts. And these include institutions from within ourselves, as the Agricultural Research and Innovation and Specialist Services Directorate, the Department of Veterinary Services, Agricultural Education, Irrigation. They all submitted some papers. And we got a total of 165 papers, of which 80 of those papers are going to be presented as oral presentations. The rest will be produced as abstracts. So the theme of this symposium will be transformative agricultural technologies, accelerating the attainment of Vision 2030. So what we are doing is aligned with the national vision of attaining middle income society by the year 2030.
The symposium will run under various thematic areas that include crop breeding, agronomy, soil fertility management, agroecology, and irrigation technologies, among others. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The government and its partners are stepping up efforts to fight drug and substance abuse, harnessing a raft of interventions to rehabilitate the affected youth.
After completing his ordinary levels, 21-year-old Ode-based Andrew Kwashata's life was at standstill for 3 years due to drug abuse. Kwashata, who is now in ardent Christian, narrates his ordeal and believes the drug peddlers are at the center of the social ill.
Taiti ne boys zedu tikatenga drug redu rere kana 5 grams toenda mbesi tonopisa unonzi kupisa sini toko unoshandiswa kubesi topisa torowa madrugs aya tadhakwa hatichaoni kuti munhu akakoshere kana kuti munhu akanaka here taingoona sekuti munhu chinhuwo chisina basa kubva kuvabereki naasingachatoti kana respect kuvabereki.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police spoke on the negative impact of drug and substance abuse that is not only affecting mental and physical health but also resulting in an increase in criminal cases. Government is harnessing a raft of measures to fight drug and substance abuse.
Hurumende yaBaba Mnangagwa iri kuzama chaizvo kuuya nemaprojects akasiyana-siyana ekuti mayouth edu awane chekuita abudirire. Hurumende yedu yaMnangagwa tichibatsirana MP wenzvimbo ino tiri kupa mayouth edu mikana yekuti vashere magoridhe mamines minda yekuti varime vachirima fodya vachirima chibage vawane zvekuita.
As a province, we've put our heads together. We are doing my awareness campaigns seatinayo pano nhasi. We are trying by all means kuti tive nemahomes anobatsira panyaya dzekurehabilitata vana vedu. We have liaised with council and tine hospital imwe yavanga vachishandisa seinfectious disease hospital. That hospital is going to be used as a rehab center.
Drug and substance abuse has become a global challenge, requiring a multi-stakeholder approach to conquer the vice, with the Second Republic having instituted an interministerial committee to lead the process. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
0714-647-002. That is the drug and substance abuse toll-free number. Please use it if you must. We're off to a break. Do join us for more when we come back.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and everything in between.
Now this is banking redefined. Deposits done. Withdrawals easy. All in one smooth move. Sleek, chic, always on. Your new Stanbic Bank ATM is here. Withdraw USD cash anytime, any day using any Visa or MasterCard at our new Zimray Park ATM located at Puma Service Station, Zimray Park Turnoff. You can also deposit USD cash into any Stanbic Bank account. No more queues or inconvenient opening hours. Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Welcome back. You are still watching the main news. Let's take a look at your business news. Now, the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, VFEX, continues to attract a diverse range of listings from across the economy, with the latest milestone being the listing of its first real estate investment trust since inception in 2020.
The Eagle Real Estate Investment Trust, Eagle REIT, a subsidiary of Zimri Holdings Limited, becomes VFX's 16th listed counter and the first listing of the year 2025.
It signifies a strategic shift towards leveraging offshore capital for local infrastructure development and sets a precedent for future REIT listings on the VFX. The listing of a REIT, an innovative asset class, is evidence of continued growth and deepening of capital markets and nurturing and maturing nature of our financial sector. It is aligned with our drive to mobilize domestic and international resources towards infrastructure development and economic diversification. Furthermore, the listing signals Zimbabwe's readiness to align with global trends in property securitization and investment diversification. This listing marks not only an essential milestone for the issuer, but also serves as a critical leap forward in the development of our capital markets and the broader economic transformational agenda of our nation.
The Eagle REIT and the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange believe the VFX is uniquely positioned to mobilize capital for high-impact development projects across the country, offering competitive returns that reward investor participation.
As the Zimri Group, we remain proud of this and other accomplishments in the Victoria Falls and in the entire country. The group intends to continue to play a leading role in developing these essential economic assets to the Zimbabwean landscape and to uplift the living standards of citizens, whilst also aligning our efforts to the national development strategies, NDS1 and NDS2. I'm happy to say emphatically that ZHL is back here in Victoria Falls today and also for many seasons to come. Firstly, we are listing the Eagle REIT, which is the purpose of today's event, on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, a significant milestone in our journey towards carrying forward the group's legacy in the infrastructure space.
VFX is increasingly seen as the ideal platform for attracting both domestic and international capital, supporting economic growth through investment in high-impact sectors. Tichao Nakurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Zimbabwe's anti-smuggling blitz has eased beverage imports, with local manufacturers pinning their hopes on increased capacity on the continuous rollout of the policy.
It emerged during the presentation of the full year ending March 2025 financial results for Zimbabwe's biggest manufacturer of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, Delta Corporation Limited, that the anti-smuggling drive has reduced imports of the commodities driven by improved sales during the last part of 2024. The company's group finance director, Mr. Alex Makamore, confirmed to ZBC News that the reduction in the counterfeit imports has further brought relief in terms of sustaining the domestic market while boosting production.
Government agencies, including ZIMRA, have intensified border controls in an effort to stem the inflow of product, particularly informal imports, to make sure that they comply with the regulations on duty payment. So we have seen quite a significant reduction.
Despite the reduction in imported beverages, the industry is also expecting stable economic policies to withstand competition from neighboring or regional entities in terms of pricing models.
From a capacity point of view, our business is geared to supply the market. The industry generally had invested in new plant. Ourselves, we commissioned in 2023 and 2024 some packaging upgrades at our Greenside factory.
The beverages industry had also not been spared from the effects of counterfeit imported products that resulted in a reduced domestic market share. But the inception of the anti-smuggling drive has raised optimism on growth prospects. Late last year, government introduced the anti-smuggling drive to protect the domestic industry against the influx of counterfeit goods that threatened viability of a local industry while posing harm to consumers health-wise. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, Palestine has endorsed Zimbabwe as a safe investment destination, with Palestinian investors looking at exploring possible areas of collaboration.
As you know, the Palestinian-Zimbabwe relations is very strong in many aspects, but today we try to discover how to strengthen it in business. Actually, you know that since the Israeli genocide, many of the Palestinian men left Gaza Strip because their factories were destroyed under the Israeli apartheid military destructive tools, and now they try to find some opportunities in some countries. We try actually to open the ground for them here in Zimbabwe, and I'm sure that they will have very friendly environment and very safe environment for business, especially with the special care actually that we receive all the time from the leadership of Zimbabwe, led by His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa and his colleagues in the leadership.
Now, the stage is set for the Miss Universe Zimbabwe 2025 pageant, set for the Hippodrome in Harare this Saturday.
South African actress and business mogul Connie Ferguson touched down at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport ahead of a role as a guest judge for this year's Miss Universe Zimbabwe finals set for this Saturday.
First of all, it's an honor to just be invited to participate in this year's choosing of Miss Universe Zimbabwe. It means a lot. I mean, an opportunity like this for the young girls that enter this competition is huge.
Ferguson, admired across the continent for a contribution in South Africa's entertainment industry, offered words of inspiration to contestants and young women across Zimbabwe.
To the girl child, believe in yourself, baby girl. This world can be so big and scary, but just be grounded and rooted in God, number one. Be grounded and rooted in family, be grounded and rooted in community. Because at the end of the day, when you fall, those are the pillars that are going to hold you up.
Behind the scenes, it's all systems go, and this year the stakes are even higher.
We promise that we are going to get the best from the contestants. We're going to be fair, we're going to be just, we are going to make sure that everybody is afforded equal opportunity to win the beauty pageant tomorrow.
9 beauty queens are vying for the coveted crown and will participate at the grand finale. Patience Nyagato, SABC News, Harare.
So what else can we look forward to this weekend? Sim Danso, Afro Jazz, Sungura music lovers. There is something for everybody.
Zim Denso artists will be lighting up the Caravan Park in Masvingo this Saturday, including Winky D, Oriano, Blink 4 and Chill Master. In Harare, Somam Tukudzi is set to serenade fans at Sherwood Golf Club on Saturday, much to the delight of Afro Jazz lovers. Sungura lovers will not be left out Friday night as Sungura ace Alak Macheso teams up with Somandla Ndebele for a one-night performance in Ruwa. After the Winter Warmer Sungura show, it's off to Mount Darwin, where Macheso shared the stage with Peter Moyo on Saturday for another explosive night of rhythm and dance.
Well, it looks like it's an action-packed weekend, and you get to decide where you're going. We take a break, but when we come back, we'll be giving you the sports news.
It's time for the main event. This is incredible. He has written it, and the dream lives on. I cannot believe it.
Stay connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want. ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
We now give you the sports update, I beg your pardon. Now, the young mighty Warriors will live to fight for a third place at the COSAFA Under-17 Championships after being humbled 5-1 by Zambia in a semi-final match played in Windhoek, Namibia this Friday. And Tokoze Sidube gives us the report.
The young mighty Warriors will have to fight for a third place on Saturday after going down 5-1 to neighbor Zambia. Zimbabwe caught napping and exposed for their shoddy preparations, which saw the side troop into camp 2 weeks before the regional tournament. After a dozen-goal harvest over Lesotho, which saw the ladies thrash the young Tikwena 12-2, the young Zimbabweans turned from hero to villain, losing the semi-final match in what proved to be a difficult fixture for the Lindwendorf-mentored side. Zimbabwe will face Mozambique in a third-place play-off set for Saturday.
Right, it's match day 12 in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League, and it will be headlined by the Harare Derby featuring Caps United and Dynamos.
The Red Derby takes a center stage at a time when both clubs are experiencing waning fortunes. The two clubs are closer to the bottom than they are to the top of the log, but still they must play the derby. Host Dynamos are better for capital bragging rights with Socha Minuka is their new head coach after his appointment on Tuesday. Makepekepe are not far either, having appointed Zambian Ian Bakala last week, and the derby will be his second match in charge. With the two Lloyds gone, Chitiambo and Chigowe, the Fighting Giants will look to rekindle their seasons. Usually form does not count, it's about who turns up wanting it more. Last season, the two clubs dished out an entertaining 1-1 draw in the first leg before unleashing a thriller in the reverse encounter that was won by Caps United 2-1, getting their first victory over Dynamos in 5 years. While Makepekepe fans have united in support of Ian Bakala, Dimbare fans are divided, with some calling for a boycott over the way the club is being run. But the Dynamos National Supporters Association has rallied the fans to come in their numbers to watch the match. PSL action, however, starts on Saturday with defending champion Simba Bora hosting Triangle at Wadzanai, FC Platinum take on Bikita Minerals at Mandala, while Tier 1 at Det Yada at Ascota. ZBC Kariba will be looking to maintain their dominance over Highlanders when the two teams clash at Nyamunga. Herentals take on against Platinum Stars at Rufaro. Manika Diamonds host rejuvenated Scotland at Sakuba, while log leaders Moors take on Kweko United at Ngoni. Lawrence Tuzeda, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, the heavens have smiled on little boy Mukudze Umali, who went viral after he was seen in a video picking litter at Rufaro Stadium in March this year. And this is after Scotland Football Club President Honourable Scott Sakupwanya availed a bursary to finance his education together with his 3 siblings.
On the fateful day, Scotland beat Caps United 2-0. While everyone was making their way home, a young boy started picking up litter for resale and also cleaning the environment. Other fans took the advantage to film him for unknown reasons.
It's an image that triggered emotion among many, yet very few had the resolve to act on the situation the little boy was going through. Oblivious to critics who otherwise choose to blame the parents, this little soul innocently carried a duty demonstrating maturity far beyond his age. Mukudze's mother had shed tears of sorrow just a month before when her son went viral for reasons unknown. However, there were now tears of joy as she settled into her new apartment.
Ndafara nchona wana wangu wacho achisotorwa vachienda kuchikoro. Zvinhu zvandisingafungira kuti ndichabatsirwa kusvika pastage iyoyo. Ndaingoti kungofambawo kwesocial media. Ndisingazivi kuti kunewo vanhu vane rudo kunzoku vanobatsira.
A precept from a quote by Nelson Mandela reads, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children." True to this assertion, Scotland Football Club President Honourable Scott Sakupwanya responded to the video and offered full scholarships to the 4 children, bought a house for the family, also employing the mother at the clinic in Mavuku, as well as giving the father, Brenna Umali, who is to be a former goalkeeper Black Rhinos, a coaching job at Scotland's developmental side.
Tichigara kumaflats taigara mu one room. One room iyoyo taishare kuti inini na baba wemwana nemhuri yangu. Mhuri yangu wana 4, musikana 1, wakomana 3. Asi taisashandisa room yese. Taishandisa half. Taitodivide futi nepakati. Noda kutenda Honourable Sakupwanya nebasa ravaita. Ndinoti ngarisagumire pandiri. Ngavaramba vachienderera mberi nekubatsira.
The club is determined to change lives beyond the football pitch.
Takaona video yemukomana achinonga zvigubhu. Tose takabatikana. Kunyanya Honourable wakati mwana uyu ngaatsvagwe. Zera remwana uyu nezvaari kuita izvi azviite. Tikatsvaka chikoro tikaona nzvimbo yeboarding pachishawasha Mission Primary. Panova ndiwo patakunovasiya nhasi paboarding school. Imba ineyi ndiyo yatakakwanisa kuwana.
Scotland pledged to sponsor the children's education up to university level.
The story that started at Rufaro Stadium on the fateful day when Scotland beat Caps United 2-0 ends here in Mavuku, with the Umali family now settled in this community. Lawrence Tusida, ZBC News, Harare.
And that is our look at sport. The weather report and forecast is next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Hope I find you well. With a bit of sunshine over the northern parts of the country, but it was cloudy over the south as moisture was still drifting out of the country southwards across. But this led to rather cold conditions, especially along the central watershed. But it was warmer by afternoon and got cooler again towards evening. That's the moisture that is drifting out of the country. Thus, for much of this weekend, we're expecting generally sunny skies across much of the atmosphere, leading to warmer conditions, especially as we move out of the weekend. And with that, we're expecting tonight to be rather cold across the Highveld. That's where we're getting most of those temps. But along the Zambezi Valley, we're expecting generally mild conditions. It should get warmer by afternoon across board. We're expecting warmer conditions, especially over the southern areas, with Bulawayo projected to be at 26 by tomorrow. At morning temperature about 10 degrees, which is in the cold category, becoming warmer as we get into the afternoon, especially on Sunday. We're expecting a maximum of 27 also for Matopo on Sunday, but morning temperatures in the cold category where chance of frost cannot be ruled out, especially over Matopo. For Gwanda, we're expecting a maximum of 25 tomorrow, 27 as we move into Sunday, with generally cool conditions in the morning. Masvingo also expecting an increase in our maximum temperatures as we move into the weekend. We're also under sunny skies, but rather cold in the morning, becoming warmer by afternoon. Same for Kwekwe, we're expecting a maximum of 27 tomorrow, 28 as we move into Sunday, increasing gradually as we go into the week. Same for Kadoma, we're expecting temperatures to slightly increase as we move into next week. For Harare, we're expecting also that increase with morning temperatures of rather in the cool category, becoming warmer by afternoon. Lupani also under sunny skies. Same for Victoria Falls. If you happen to visit Victoria Falls, it's rather mild in the morning. Same for Kariba, we're expecting minimums to be in the 16 and 17 range. For Bindura, we're expecting it to be rather cool in the morning, becoming warmer by afternoon with sunny skies. Brief cloudy periods cannot be ruled out over Marondera because of remnant moisture, but it should get warmer by afternoon. Nyanga very cold in the morning, but becomes warmer by afternoon with more sunny skies projected as we move out of the weekend. That's all for our weather and forecast. Been a place in Zimbabwe. I'm James Kuma Jr. for the Met Department.
So that's the weather report and forecast, bringing us to the end of the main news tonight and for this week.
Indeed, it's a good night.
This year, 2025, we were celebrating our 45th independence anniversary, and all roads were leading to Gokwe, where the celebrations were taking place amid pomp and pageantry. And it is very important that we look at the road that we've traveled this far, the ups and downs that we faced as a nation. Hello and welcome to Economic Forum. My name is John Masugu. And today, as we take stock of our independence successes as well as impediments, we've invited Dr. Matenda Andre Sorukovo, who has been a public servant for almost all his life, just to help us look at where we've come from as a nation and some of the hurdles that we have had to deal with